They are hard rock superstars and nu metal pioneers. They are top-selling, chart-topping sensations. They've been labeled record company concoctions, been ripped apart by the critics, and felt the piercing wrath of music fans. They've been celebrated by millions and impacted the lives of goth rockers from around the globe. But the question is, how did Evanescence evolve from local rock scene pioneers to become one of the world's most acclaimed rock bands? And how did their frontwoman, Amy Lee, accomplish this feat in the midst of such unrelenting grief and heartache? Evanescence was born to be.
You'll never call me when you're sober.
My mother always wanted me to be a lawyer.
A doctor.
An architect like my father.
My dad insisted on medical school.
I was always expected to be a part of the family business.
A bank manager.
But
I was born to be.
Make some noise! Evanescence!
From the start, Evanescence leaders Amy Lee and Ben Moody were two contrasting forces struggling to form a solitary vision. Their relationship was volatile. Their personalities too similar to sustain a functioning creative partnership. And while their story may be filled with moments of genuine friendship, it is their high-profile bust-up and its well-publicized fallout that has defined who Evanescence is, and as a result, what they represent to music fans the world over. But before the drama, before the pain, and before the overwhelming fame, the nucleus of Evanescence was little more than two young kids from Little Rock, Arkansas, jamming together at a Christian youth camp.
So I'm supposed to tell the story?
She was 13, I was 14.
We met at camp,
Yeah, they were at camp.
In a very conservative small town. And we found each other because we were both different. I guess we stood out. And we were both musicians. So we began writing together right away.
Amy and Ben would evolve their friendship and musical partnership into not only one of the world's most successful hard rock bands, but also into a toxic relationship that would shake both parties to their core.
We had not been a day apart for 6, 7, 8 years now.
Ben and I didn't even travel in the same bus.
I didn't expect to turn into such a raging lunatic.
It was very much an act that we were buddies.
We were going to destroy the whole damn thing.
We just grew apart.
In time, Amy would become the sole champion of the band's sound, and in many ways the true heart of what we now know as Evanescence.
My name is Amy, and I play in a band.
Amy's dramatic rise to musical stardom began here, in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas.
I'm from all over the States, but I went to high school in Arkansas. So yes, that's where my family still lives.
Amy's childhood was scarred at age 6 by the mysterious and unexplained death of her 3-year-old sister.
Whenever I've gone through a hard time, it's always been for me that I have to instantly just get it out and write it down. I have like 7 journals that I'm keeping right now in my backpack. And I think that's the hardest part about being a teenager is you don't know how to fix what's wrong. You just feel horrible and you feel stuck. Always, everything, I just have to write it down and write exactly how I feel, no matter how awful it sounds. And a lot of our music has come from that kind of purging. That's what it is for me.
Recognizing the frailty of life at such a young age, Amy's grief and sadness would drive the young woman to accomplish her much-needed musical release early in her lifetime.
I sang in choir all my life. I was choir president. When the teacher was absent, I taught the class. That was me.
Amy's 9 years of classical piano training and high school choir singing spawned a love of music that spanned from Bjork to Soundgarden. A genuine passion for emotional expression through song defined her early years.
You can take some negative experience and turn it into like something beautiful, like a piece of art or a piece of music, then you're kind of free from it in a way. I think being a teenage girl is pretty rough. I've moved around. My dad's in radio.
So kind of like being a military brat or something.
Amy's nomadic family forced her to adapt and readapt to new environments.
I never fit in. I have never fit in my life anywhere.
I think it's almost impossible. I don't know who does really fit in unless they're faking something.
It was a skill that would later help her to cope with some of her most defining public and personal moments.
I always want to just be an artist now and find a way to do it well enough that I could continue to do it.
As high school drew to a close, Amy and friend Ben Moody began to focus more intensely on their songwriting partnership.
They just have a great artistic connection. It's really hard to find someone you can collaborate with writing because it's so personal, especially if you write from the heart like we do. So Ben is the only person that I can write with.
But Amy and Ben didn't operate like most co-writers. Ben wrote the songs while Amy retooled the melodies and edited the lyrics.
It was an equal partnership. It's just that, I kind of was responsible.
Ben is a great writer, and actually he writes most of the music, and I will take that and write lyrics and melodies and vocals. I trust him completely. We have the same vision for the end of the song when we're still both at the beginning.
The duo developed a solid set list and were eager to showcase their creations as a united musical front. But finding like-minded musicians in Little Rock, Arkansas was no easy task.
We used to always record in the bedroom. We would go to the closet and I'd record vocals and then I'd be messing with an 8-track. So we put together this big, I think it was 10 or 11 songs on there. It was an album.
Soon the local music industry took notice and quickly helped the group's angst-fueled, introspective music hit local radio. By the time Amy and Ben had found a stable roster of musicians, their music had already become a viable force on the local rock scene. They named themselves Evanescence, a word that represents the act of vanishing, and started touring beyond the Little Rock city limits. But this period of growth was quickly overshadowed by a new development in the lives of Evanescence's leaders. Amy and Ben's friendship had evolved into a romantic relationship. To outsiders, Amy and Ben seemed like the perfect pair, but looks were most definitely deceiving.
She and I just were so stuck on that vision that I think when we wouldn't accept who we were becoming as adults. I just didn't want the fighting to continue, and I didn't want Evanescence to burn. We were going to destroy the whole damn thing.
When we come back, Evanescence rocket to unparalleled fame. The songwriting duo is ripped apart by romance, chastised for their beliefs, and nearly destroyed by a high-profile departure. Watch as Evanescence rise dramatically and fall hard as they redefine contemporary rock music when Born to Be continues.
Much Music presents
Amy Lee and Ben Moody were two social outsiders united by a musical passion. They had built a solid foundation of creativity and had turned their combined talents into a promising musical career. But fame was secondary to the drama that was quickly enveloping the group's founders. Amy and Ben had launched into a full-fledged romantic relationship and were trying to negotiate the harsh landscape of the music industry with the added burden of nurturing a new love life. Thanks to their stellar word-of-mouth reputation, Evanescence quickly became one of the most sought-after unsigned bands on the new rock scene. Their teen-friendly sound and their polished goth image were a huge draw for record execs eager to tap into new markets. A record deal came quickly.
Wind Up heard it, and within a week, flew us up there and were talking to us. The rest is history.
Evanescence signed with Wind Up Records, the label that had turned Christian rock band Creed into a household name.
You have to go into it with an open mind thinking, okay, we could totally bomb, and honestly, we probably will because that's what happens to the majority of bands.
On March 4th, 2003, Evanescence released their first major label album, Fallen. In an instant, the introspective young woman from Little Rock and her co-writer boyfriend had become international recording stars.
This is
a huge phenomenon, not only here in North America, but in the world, like all over the place. You guys are massive. Yeah, you can cheer that.
It's such a slim chance that you're going to be successful that it's kind of like, we were really, really shocked and surprised and happy.
Their heartfelt, intensely emotional lyrics and their dark, moody melodies resonated with fans and brought Evanescence to the forefront of contemporary rock music.
I would love for our music to be the thing that lets people go, oh, finally good. No, I'm not alone. Somebody else feels this way too. That's what it's all about.
The album shot into the Billboard Top 10 and remained there for the next 43 weeks. Fallen would become only the 8th album in the history of the Billboard chart to remain in the top 50 for an entire calendar year. Propelled by top 10 singles like Bring Me to Life, Going Under, and My Immortal, the album would go on to sell 14 million copies worldwide and win 2 Grammy Awards, the coveted Best New Artist Award, as well as Best Hard Rock Performance for Bring Me to Life.
We can't really place ourselves into a genre, and that's because we pull from all musical styles, from rock to classical to gothic.
Amy and Ben had converted mountains of pain and alienation into a massive popular music phenomenon.
Every time I think I get it, it's like, 17 to 25. Then I see people like, I see some 60-year-old dude all by himself, just like rocking out, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's really cool that we can move people that way.
Fans identified with Fallen's prevailing themes of loneliness, angst, and rebirth.
Seeing people get into our music and seeing people listening to me is probably the most gratifying thing. Playing live is always an incredible experience. If something comes over me and I'm a completely dramatic, emotional, theatrical thing. I don't really know how to describe it. It's awesome. It is my therapy. I've never really gone to real therapy. I always have been creative and stuff. It wasn't like I was dreaming of being a really rock star or anything. Somehow, through everything and getting here and being successful, our music is still like completely what we meant for it to be, like the way we want it to sound. We got lucky.
But even with all of this success, trouble was brewing. In a strange twist, Amy and Ben's Christian upbringing was about to threaten the duo's upward momentum. Their band's religious background, spiritual references in their songs, and promotion in Christian music stores led many to speculate that the band had a strong religious bent.
It's not cool to be labeled, and especially that kind of pissed me off because we're not a Christian rock band.